Okay, so you know how we're always talking about cutting through the noise online? Like,
Yeah.
there's just so much content out
It's
there.
overwhelming, right?
Totally. And honestly, how much of it really sticks with us? We click, we scroll, we like, and then it's on to the next thing.
It's the age-old question, isn't it? What makes certain content actually resonate while other stuff just vanishes into the void?
Right. It can't just be random, can it? Like, are there actual strategies at play here?
Oh, absolutely. There's a whole science to it. Today, we're diving into some research by Thomas Heer, and he gets into this really fascinating concept of attitudes.
Okay, when I hear attitudes, I think like someone's demeanor or like, he's got an attitude. Oh, on the right track.
Not quite in this sense. It's more about, how do I put this? Think of attitudes as these deeply held beliefs and values that shape how we see the world. They influence what we pay attention to, what we desire, even if we don't realize it.
Okay, so it's less about being grumpy and more about how we connect with things on a deeper level.
Got it.
Exactly. And smart content creators, they tap into those existing attitudes. They figure out what people already care about and craft their message accordingly.
So, give me an example here. How does that actually play out, say, when I'm scrolling through my feed?
All right, picture this.
Yeah.
You see an ad for, let's say, some super high-tech noise-canceling headphones.
Ooh, I can already see it. Sleek design, all the bells and whistles.
Right. And the ad might focus on things like crystal clear audio or a comfortable fit, but what they're really tapping into is your desire for peace and quiet. You mean like escaping the chaos of everyday life, finding a moment of zen.
Precisely. That yearning for tranquility, that's an attitude.
Mhm.
And the content is designed to make you subconsciously connect those positive feelings with their product.
Sneaky. I like it. Okay, now I'm thinking about all the stuff I buy and how it makes me feel. Like, am I really that predictable?
Well, it's not so much about being predictable as it is about how our brains are wired.
Okay, go on.
Our brains love to organize information, right? So they create these mental structures called taxonomies, kind of like a filing system.
So, like, my brain has a filing cabinet for everything. That's kind of cool, actually.
Exactly. And each drawer in that cabinet represents a different category or association. When we encounter something new, our brain tries to file it away into one of those existing drawers.
So it's not just randomly throwing information around in there. It's trying to make sense of it.
That's the idea. Now, let's say you stumble across a website selling, I don't know, those fancy artisanal candles everyone's always raving about.
Okay, I'm picturing it. All those soothing scents and elegant jars.
Right. But your brain doesn't just see candles. It might file them under luxury, self-care, maybe even gifts or home decor, depending on how the website's designed and the language they use.
Oh, I get it. So they're strategically placing their product in my mental filing cabinet, hoping it ends up in the must-have drawer and not the who cares drawer.
Exactly. And that's the power of association in content marketing. It's not just about the product itself, it's about connecting it to those pre-existing desires and aspirations we already have.
It's all making sense now. But what if I'm actually paying attention to the content, not just letting it subconsciously wash over me? Like, are there ways to influence my conscious decision-making too?
Absolutely. And that's where we get into this fascinating model called the Elaboration Likelihood Model.
Okay, that sounds a little intimidating, but I'm intrigued. Break it down for me.
Simply put, it suggests that there are two main routes to persuasion. Think of it like choosing a path.
Okay, two paths of persuasion. I'm all ears. Tell me more about these routes.
So one path is like taking the scenic route. This is called the central route. It's when you're really engaged with the information, carefully thinking things through.
So it's like when I actually read those in-depth articles, the ones where I really want to understand the nuances of a topic.
Exactly. You're weighing the arguments, considering the evidence. It's a more deliberate, thought-out process. And because you're putting in that mental effort, any attitude changes or decisions you make are likely to be more enduring.
Makes sense. Okay, so what about the other path?
Well, the other path is more like a quick zip down the highway. We call this the peripheral route. You're not really analyzing things deeply here. It's more about reacting to surface-level cues and emotions.
Ah, so this is where those impulse purchases come in. Like, I see a flash sale or a really cool design, and I'm sold.
You got it.
Right.
And content creators are very aware of this. They'll use what we call peripheral cues to influence our choices. Think like a long list of benefits you only skim, eye-catching visuals, or even just a sense of urgency, like a limited time offer.
Wow, so even when I think I'm being intentional with my choices, my brain might be taking shortcuts without me even realizing it.
It happens to all of us. But that's why understanding these two routes is so empowering. It allows you to be a more mindful consumer.
Okay, I'm listening. How can I put this knowledge into practice?
It's about being aware of those peripheral cues and asking yourself, am I really drawn to this product or service because I genuinely need or want it? Or am I just reacting to a flashy ad or a limited time offer?
So it's about taking a step back and not letting those marketing tactics completely dictate my choices.
Exactly. It's about finding a balance. Engage with content that genuinely interests you, but also be aware of the subtle techniques being used to influence your decisions.
This has been such an eye-opening deep dive. I'm looking at everything I see online with fresh eyes now.
That's what we like to hear. Knowledge is power, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And understanding the psychology behind content marketing. Well, that feels like a superpower. It's like we've unlocked a secret code. So the next time you're scrolling through your feed, remember what we've talked about today. Think about those attitudes, those mental filing cabinets, and those sneaky persuasion tactics. Stay curious, stay informed, and until next time.